like mechanic and say, bros, remove this thing, let me. So, best bet, let's do dual conversion, what the man is used to, and the new thing we are doing for him. So, let us use both over time, and then the washing exit the old one voluntarily. Now, the last part I need to include in this conversation is that there are mechanics, there are auto garages, there are all manner of people who are currently eating. Don't want them to turn to armed robbers. So you must have a transition plan that recognize them, include them, and make their current post, the place where they are doing their business right now. And I need to emphasize this for the consultant to understand that we are not just politicians, we are also politicians that care about the people. So, and if you want this to succeed, the transition must start with these people. They must buy into what we are trying to do, release their outlets, and then be able to work with us to see this happen. Have I made sense? Okay, so I need to make this foundational input so that you can now take the additional comments and all that.
Wow. Thank you so much.
The layman's view now. I was part of an argument. They are comparing the cylinder gas, that of the cylinder. What capacity in terms of safety? If the normal cylinder gas explodes, and if this one is in the vehicle, can't it also explode? So the argument is over time. And the question, what is the Ministry of Energy doing in terms of publicizing, advertising, safety of the CNG to ordinary man? Thank you.
Thank you for that question.
Thank you. I'm thinking we should take 3 or 4 questions first, and while we answer that, and go to another 4 questions. What do you think, Honorable Commissioner, sir? Should we take in batches? No. I'm just saying, should we take the question in batches?
Everyone, Mr. Honorable Commissioner, sir. My name is Engineer Osa Kunyeha. I'm the Technical Advisor Planning in Lamata. I want to, first of all, commend the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources for convening this very, very important stakeholder event. It is one that is very timely because at Lamata we've been doing quite a lot with the Ministry of Energy on how we can start to use biogas to power our buses, and we've done a lot of studies and a lot of engagement on this. One of the things that have come out of that study has been the need for us to look at our laws, our regulations, and our policy, for which this particular event is catering to and speaking to. Because there are a lot of gaps in our policy that allow us to be able to use biogas. There are a lot of gaps in our policy, there are a lot of gaps in our regulations, and this needs to be looked to be able to allow the private sector to play in that space, because what we know is that government is there to provide infrastructure to support, but the private sector is there to fund a lot of these initiatives, particularly this biogas innovation. The good thing about the biogas innovation, like the Honorable Commissioner mentioned about the Sustainable Development Goals, is that with biogas, we sort of satisfy all 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So it's a laudable thing for us to start moving in that direction for biogas and indeed for clean energy. So with clean energy, we're talking about EVs and of course CNG. The speaker, the consultant mentioned some of the things they were looking at, and I note that CNG was combined with other fuels, so it was other fuels, CNG and other fuels, and I think that there's need for separate biogas because it has got its own peculiarities different from CNG, so we should think about separating those. I also note the speak about end of life management for batteries. The Honorable Commissioner mentioned that there is need for us to think about how we repurpose the batteries. Before we start getting to recycling and recycling, we think about how we reuse, how we repurpose, maybe use them in our houses as grid storage, but the end-of-life management is very, very important, and is something that for us in this forum we must take very, very seriously. Lastly, the lead consultant mentioned that they were doing a lot of conversion of electric vehicles, and he mentioned about 600. This CNG, conversion to CNG, okay. So we know that there's been conversion as well to electric vehicles, and we want to encourage Nigerians, stakeholders, private sector to join us in this revolution, because yes, conversion to electric vehicle is the way for us to go to ensure that we reduce our greenhouse gas emissions associated with transportation, and to ensure that we also meet our net zero target in Lagos by 2050. So thank you very much. My name again is Engineer Osa Konyeha. I'm Technical Advisor Planning Lamata.
Lamata, a round of applause for Lamata once again. So we just
Thank you very much for bringing us together. Grant Management and Innovation of the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, LASEPA. So over the years, we've been working closely with the energy sector as well as the transport on the transition to eco-friendly solutions. So we are quite passionate about the emissions, what gets into the environment in the course of mobility in Lagos State. So we are aware that CNG is a transition energy. So we are looking at how we can improve on that and turn to the part of the biofuel that is coming to play. So if we drive our discussion around that area, we can begin to look at, okay, reducing emissions and meeting the net zero standard. So we have this carbon registry domiciled in the agency, LASEPA. So what that does for us is to capture data regarding our emissions as we move along. And by doing so, we can begin to enjoy the green bonds that's available to Lagos State as a whole. On the issue of end of life, because like I think the presenter was the one that mentioned it, that we don't want to create a problem while solving one. So whatever we do has to be in totality. So I'm very glad about this synergy, that we can all come to the table and bring out areas of concern for each of the MDAs. End of life cycle, we have so many, we'll be generating a lot more batteries by the time we look into the EV sector. So what happens to those batteries? How do we get them back into the system? And how do we ensure that it doesn't impact the environment in any way? The environment for us, with all of this put together, we are hoping and ensuring that it will give us a sustainable city. So bringing about stakeholders, because most of these artisans, they use a lot of these batteries and the power there. They have different ways of powering their machines and all of that. So this is also some concerns to us as an agency. So we are looking out for a way that everything will come to hopefully zero emission. We'll get there someday, but if we start just as we have started now and continue the discussion, we'll be able to come together and have a formidable solution. Thank you very much, sir.
Taking their notes. So what I will do so that we cover as much ground as possible, I will take all the questions on safety. It's extremely obvious that somebody else will take it. All right? Because safety standards, the policy documents, table of content they have created by dedicating a whole chapter to safety-related issues. And we are not going to have it as a block statement. Safety requirement for each type of feedstock is different. So we must outline for each type of feedstock what is safety standards and how we are going to ensure that it's appropriately enforced. We outline in the document and in the implementation plan so that everybody is properly guided. But let me address the common man issue or attitude or whatever that you have raised. My brother, you know that water, I've drank like liters this morning. Water kills you. If I go beyond 5 liters in a day, it's dangerous on my health. You understand? So, the same petrol, you know, if you put petrol here and you throw a naked light towards it, you ignite. Am I not correct? So, in the course of moving this forward, people import all manner of canisters, containers, and all that for all manner of things. What we are doing will present us with standard gauge for the steel that the containers will be made of. I hope you understand what I'm saying. The pressure that those containers will be able to withstand, the number of years of use, and my conversation with the transport commissioner is to the effect that all vehicles that are using this alternative technology, when they go to what do you call it, inspection, you know the right agency now. Once they are rolled in for inspection services, somebody will go to the very goods and confirm that these devices are okay. We engage the training we are going to implement, not just for artisans. We need to also retool the vehicle inspection agency to ensure that we have a sustainability plan in that regard. In all your agency, as you are checking normal vehicles, there will be a line that is also checking all the vehicles that are being powered by alternative fuel. That is the plan. And those who are drafting the policy document needs to be very conscious of that. We also, and part of the reason why we are also saying that, you heard me address Lamata directly, they are already all over. We are overlaying on what they are doing a set of infrastructure for charging and also for safety. So a vehicle has gone well. While we are calling fire service, there is also a fire point somewhere where there is a, I hope they won't steal all of them, where there is a device that somebody can remove and go and address the fire. And the way it is going to be also, that all the stations, all the points where we can recharge, refuel, do anything, they will also have safety infrastructure. So all of us working together make this very robust to remove the fear that people have. The fear is genuine. It may not be real, but it's genuine. Because if we say we should check it, how many combustion engine vehicles had that fire incidents in the last 1 week, 1 month? Plenty. Plenty. If we stand on Third Mainland Bridge alone, you see all those vehicles that get burnt. So are we now saying to ban all of them from the streets? All of us should now be engaging with our legs? No, it's not going to be possible. So all of us should just remain calm. These things are not as bad as, because they are new, someone may not install something properly, not tie one knot appropriately, they not know how to ensure that the seals are in the right places. So there will be a lot of gaps at this period. But as we grow in knowledge, a lot of that will be eliminated. Okay. Lamata, we have recognized that yourself and LASEPA have done some work ahead of us. And maybe I did not recognize LASEPA, but I recognize LASEPA in my introductory part. Or whatever is the case, we are going to have hardcore technical sessions that I may also even sit with you guys to make sure that, one, we harvest the benefit of the work we have done historically, and then we also ensure that whatever gaps we have noticed, if we need to get ESCO approval, if we need to go to the House of Assembly, if there are laws that limit certain things from being done, it is not a matter of law, but an order of council or something, we will see what and what needs to be done. If you also have had an issue list table that you can pass on to us, so be it. Just enable us to fast track development. We don't have to go all that process all over again. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that will happen. I'm sure within the next 2 weeks, my colleagues will have called you up and we should be able to sit together to get that done. Now, you see, when it comes to batteries, I'm starting between taking the CNG or the batteries first. When it comes to batteries, I must be honest with you. Start from even production of the battery itself. Nothing stop us from producing battery Lagos, Nigeria. I thought somebody would be happy that leaders are thinking. If you take custom record of the volume of batteries we are importing, you feel bad for us as a people. And the world is moving towards lithium. The primary material for lithium battery is being sourced in this country. So all we need to do is to ship to Lagos. Ask the Chinese man to send his factory boy. Agree whatever with him. Plastic containers you can produce now. Am I not correct? In the worst case, we say, bros, okay, bring your technology for doing a plastic container. Whatever we need to add to the raw material that we normally ship to you, bring it, let's add it. Let's produce the thing here. Even if we still end up at the same cost as the cost of China, I'm happy that my own guys are the ones producing it. I thought somebody would clap for the guys. We let's think outside the box. We are not just looking at, and that takes me to the La Sepa registry. From this project, we should not just look at a document that will go and gather dust. We should look at how do we advance financing to produce our battery, to produce our cylinders, the what's the name of the thing we put on the roof? The panels, the PVs. Eh? We should just say, and then we have energy parks that the minister has identified. If people are not coming, let's create the industry and sell it to them later. That's the kind of thought that I have. I believe, I hope it's not just very senior people we have here. I hope we also have the level 10s and the level 14s here. Some people need to carry this thing on. Must not die or must not live with us as you know. Actually, everybody in 17 now, whether I like it or not. Another, we're on their way out. So let's make sure that we set this thing down the line. Okay. Yes, in all that we do, we must separate the various type of feedstocks and how they are different across these issues, their specifications, what we need to address in the implementation, and all that. Now, I'm worried about us saying we want to focus only on final fuels. I'm worried. Yes, technically that's the right thing to do. But I have abundance of materials that are still part of this transition. I don't want to continue stockpiling or wasting. So we need to strike a balance. We're not going to go out of our way to go and get biogas or no biofuel. Is that what you can argue that biofuel is transitional fuel? But as long as people are still eating and they are still throwing waste out of their windows and all that, I would prefer to have a cleaner city, pack all that, use the bits I can use for what do you call it? For recycling, for biofuel and all that. I think I will not completely agree with you. I know the implication of my personal position, but as the committees and the various people meet and review what we have, if I have one vote, you always hear that let us use everything for now. Let's use everything. Let's use everything for now. I mean, Yoruba people will say, come on, the good ones will show themselves later in life, and the bad ones naturally die off. Okay. Now, I think I've addressed. Did I miss out anything?
The last one official that asked about
That's where I started from now. I was very extensive about safety standards and all that. And I said we are not just going to be, and it's not just about the safety, not just about the cylinder. Not just about the cylinder. It goes beyond. Let me make a joke of it. I was buying a car and the guys offered that they want to dual whatever. And there are two issues for me. I love on Sunday to pack all the children in the church. All of us are going to go on one restaurant or the other, or we're going home, trying to come and collect them every time of the day. So they want to take over for my children and put whatever there. That was a very tough one. So I said, is there a way you can do it? Such a way that, you see, when I open that last seat, you can't take that last seat in my boot. You understand? Let me have my last seat and put a protective covering on it. That is my personal position. And why do I have that personal position? The same way you have some fares. I mean, only fair pay. My car stayed too long in the sun. Eh? And when I'm approaching it, I leave the window down for a while before I enter it. I have those fares. But, you know, to buttress this, in case he doesn't understand what we are saying, or he was not listening to us when we were saying it, we will check the standards carefully. But I'm also emphasizing that water, because something is risky, does not mean that we should not explore the advantages it offers us. Are you with me, sir? Yes, sir.
He asked the difference between the office leader and the CNC. He wanted to know that. He wanted to know the difference. That's the point.
Oh, yeah, say the difference.
So, just like you asked, and so I lay your fears. CNG cylinder is different. CNG cylinder are stronger. Are made of tougher steel because of the high pressure gas comes with. LPG comes in liquid form. Pressurized, the gas comes out. The pressure is about 5, 6, 7 bars. But cylinder with the CNG, pressure is very high, about 250 bars and all that. So it is stronger. So if a welder comes and is the one to weld the CNG cylinder, don't buy it. Because it must be seamless. When you start welding joints, that's dangerous. So that's the difference.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't want to dwell into the common man fear. I want to talk in professional terms. Yes, I resonate with the presentation that captures to the detail all the concerns I would have loved to raise, ranging from safety, which is basic, to the environment, to health, to accessibility of those facilities in terms of infrastructure, to affordability, because the primary goal of all of these things is to enable the common man to be able to afford, you know, to procure the fuel alternatives and make life more meaningful to them. Now, I like to address the issue of advocacy. The need to really take to the grassroots the knowledge base concerning this kind of concern. You will agree with me, sir, that the transportation sector is more on the informal part than formal. That is to say that there are more unregulated people in the transportation sector than a few that government could essentially lay strong hands on. And these ones that falls under the regulated ones, more often than not will comply with operational regulations and safety standards that, you know, that is peculiar to their daily activities. Now, for those, the massive number in the informal sector, one may argue that some of them or most of them are under transport unions. National Union of Road Transport Workers, Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, which are the more broad-based transport unions that are well known. But there are a host of other transport unions where other transport operators are captured. But they are not officially enlisted, and they operate in a form of, free for all style. They enter into the transportation business without any regulation or any control from any source. And so that is why there is a very important need to focus advocacy, education, and enlightenment to all these areas so that it will not be lopsided. It is interesting the way we are sitting in this room. We are educated, we are elite, we know most of these, the basic elements surrounding all of these things. But for those ones who doesn't have the reach or are not readily available to embrace schemes like this and requires education, because they are eventually going to venture into it. They are transport operators, and one way or the other they engage in transportation or mobility activities. So it is very, very important that advocacy, education, and enlightenment is taken to the grassroots and all nooks and crannies, so to capture all those ones that the mind does not readily capture. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me things at the time. Number one, okay, this gentleman is raising his hand. Go on. They'll give you the mic. I want to start off, but I'll rather hold on.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Really grateful for that opportunity. So my name is Bayode Okem from the Office of Public-Private Partnership. So my question is in two phases. Just like you mentioned earlier, that this entire project is not phasing out the already existing mainstream fuel that we have right now. And my first question is that, is the framework going to have a framework, is the policy going to have a framework for the already existing guys to be able to transition into being big players in the alternative fuel or vehicles? Is there like a framework for them to easily be able to transition if they want to, or if they want to add that into what they already do?
Are you people distributing food already? Eh?
Yes, like filling stations, because if that happens, because if that happens, it'll be easy. We'll easily have charging stations. We'll easily have change of battery stations. If there's a framework already existing for those who already sell fuels to be able to transition into that. That's one. And two is to support the question that has already been asked as around advocacy, and then how. These policies, like you said earlier, sir, that this is not a document that should go into the dust and I will not be read by people, because a lot of people that are players in this, like you said, are literally the informal guys. How is this document going to move from document into something that is easily understandable by the average Lagosian? Maybe are they going to be like culture shaping tools of imbibe, like we put it in movies, doing a cartoon around it, doing things that a layman can easily understand and can draw attention from even those who are not currently key players or stakeholders in this sector to want to play in by just seeing, maybe not necessarily the document to have to read the entire document, but to see it in probably like a movie in culture shaping tools that can help enhance people's enlightenment and people's involvement in this entire structure. Thank you.
Yeah, let's take
in Lagos State Safety Commission. So I would like to buttress what you said in terms of safety. When there is a new technology, there is always a risk. Unfortunately, safety has to move on the same speed with technology, but we ignore safety at times. So sometime last year, the Lagos State Safety Commission, in conjunction with VIS, did a training for a number of people, which was conducted by Nigeria Institute of Transport Technology, Zaria. They are the only recognized two federal governments. So we have people in Lagos State already, which were given certificate on CNG vehicle CNG training. We have people. So we have people that can identify effective conversion on CNG. We have people that can check the structural stability, the structural strength of a cylinder. We have people that can check the fuel lines. So I can tell you that Lagos is not starting from scratch. We have a foundational enforcement already. But let me go back to safety, sir. After the training, we have a checklist. We developed a checklist. We developed standards for all CNG stations. We also developed,
We developed standards. We've developed standard for CNG stations. We developed licensing for conversion centers. Thank you. So from the safety aspects, in the policy, I will encourage the Ministry of Energy to please create a system that encourages safety. In the policy, ensure standard is there, competency, enforcement, and public awareness. I will buttress what this man has said. In terms of public awareness, when we are going to parks, we need to speak in their dialects. And when you get to the public park, it's not about how they can save money. Let them know the benefit of retrofitting their cars in a standardized conversion center. Because most people come out, go to public parks, they only talk about when you retrofit your cars, you save money, you do that. But let them know the benefit of doing it in a licensed centers. So for the policy, I will ensure that I will appreciate the Ministry of Energy, ensure that all conversion centers have license from the federal government. Even when they have the license, their technicians should be trained by the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology in Zaria, which were trained, or they came all the way from Zaria.
Madam, I am a Lagos State government official, and you claim to also be a Lagos State government official.
Yes, sir.
I object to some of the things you are saying, but I'm listening to you. But I need to just give you that person that you don't. You have also exhausted your time. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, good afternoon once again, Honorable Commissioner. Dr. Amore, the head of Road Services Department in Lamata. So, sir, I want to go back to the question that was asked. It's just a question. The question on biogas and your extensive explanation on it. And at the end of the day, you said you would love to have everything. You would love to have everything included in as regarding the feedstock. So I just want a quick clarification on what you mean by everything included in that aspect. Then one more thing, this is just a comment regarding this stakeholders collaboration, which is for me is the day we have been looking for in Lamata, and it's not too late to have this. So in this stakeholders forum, sir, I will also appreciate if you know the tank made mention of local assembly and one of the slides. So I will also appreciate if this already now we have one or two that are assembling electric vehicle in Lagos. We have a company called Saglev. It should be part of this stakeholders forum. We also have a company in Abuja called NEV, N-E-V. They should also be part of this forum so that from their own angle, which they are OEM, we can also gain experience, and they can also be, they can have a very detailed input in this policy document. Then lastly, also operators. Because right now, so many people, I can tell you we have so many EVs around. There are so many EVs around in Lagos as I speak. People are just bringing in EV anyhow. So we at Lamata will have operators too that have electric vehicle. Operators too should be part of this stakeholders forum. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Olola Gbao from Lagos State Motor Vehicle Administration Agency. I'd like to comment by applauding the initiative of the Honorable Commissioner and his team for bringing this program. It's actually coming at a beautiful timing for us in the agency because we got the approval of the PPP to go digital, meaning that in the course of our data gathering, we are digitalizing our processes. The registration is for vehicle registration. We're not capturing the fuel category. So going forward, we will need to go back to the drawing board. It's a take-home purpose, and I'm pledging that for us to see the success of this project, we need to categorize which of the vehicle uses fuel, which is hybrid, which is electricity. So we're promising that it is important that we key into this project I will deliver that robust and reliable database for the transition projects and the program at large. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Eduro, let me take this set. Sorry. There is no way we are going to be successful if we don't work with federal agencies. Am I very clear? Let me repeat myself. There is no way we are going to be successful if we don't work with federal agencies. But most of the federal agencies, the problem with our power sector is because somebody sits in Abuja and wants to control what is happening in Ewedapo, or is monitoring the report of somebody that sits in Ikeja on what is happening at Osu village on the edge of Festac. Am I making sense to you? So, the federal rules, the federal institutions, there is a need for Lagos to duplicate, replicate, make better, work with them, and ensure the Lagos environment is what we're supposed to be. If there is a legitimate legal constraint on account of constitution, we will deal with it as we go along. But if all we have is inaction, state governments have never looked at it deeply, let us look at it deeply and solve the problems and create the environment that we desire. I'm sure that the team will be happy to have the list of all those who are trained by the institute. We'll continue. Your GM is my personal friend. We'll continue to work with him, to work with your agency to ensure that the objectives of the ministry and that of your commission is not compromised. Now, at the center of all the new things we are doing, safety is important, and the Safety Commission is very daring to us. So let me be very clear on that one. We cannot have any type of abrasive relationship, and whatever it is that we are trying to draw, every facet of it, the Safety Commission must be part of it. And in case I've not been very clear, we are going to ESCO. The engagement must be strong, must be such that as we have our consultant with us, the GM of the Safety Commission must also be with me. That would gladden my heart. So let's be very clear on that one. If we are taking the time to only focus on what the federal institutions are doing, because it's the biggest market for all these activities. The largest number of vehicles is in Lagos. Lagos cannot fold our hands and wait for Abuja to come and secure what is happening on the street of Surulere. I mentioned Ekore Junction the other time. Whether will it be Odogunyon in Ikorodu, not going to be effective. It will end up in stories. Okay? Everybody know of the challenges with the constitution, and we are trying to address it together. Anybody in leadership in Nigeria knows those challenges, and we are trying to address it. So, don't let us lose sight of that one. What we are coming up, training, retraining, and knowledge sharing to be so pervasive that same way everybody know today about GSM, people should know about the fact that they have options, and for as long as you drive a vehicle, either you are visiting motor MVA for your regular checks, or you are going to collect your license from a bank counter, there should be one information or the other. And then all of them have telephone numbers on MVA records or something. We can interrogate and work with those databases and send messages that will help with spreading the information. And I'm also happy with the feedback that we got from MVA that they are going to be expanding their feed or their fueling choices to include all these other ones so that things will be whatever. By the way, please include hydrogen. Currently, hydrogen is being used by as a dual fuel, but I'm sure that one day, at some point, these car manufacturers, some of them will be bold enough to say they now have a car that runs completely. No, there are simple cars that run completely on hydrogen, just that they are very expensive. There are cars that run completely on hydrogen. So let's make sure that we include that in what we are doing. Now, your question relates to when I said everything is included. I mean every fork pipe for powering vehicles on the street. Once we get the vehicles right, all the other generators for our homes, we don't even believe the generators are sustainable. They will disappear. I believe is that the grid will get stronger, there will be more operators on the grid, and solve that problem will ease out. All right? That is, I believe, on electricity. But for vehicles, and vehicles are the most intense thing that all of us have to relate with. Whether you are going by buses or you have your personal cars, you have to relate with it. So, biofuel, hydrogen, batteries, EVs, which one again? CNG, which one? LPG, hydrogen, everything is on the table. It's your car, okay? But we owe you a directory that shows which of the filling stations have what available. And when you are driving past a filling station, you know either by color code or by something what and what services they have available at those filling stations. Whether all they are selling is Izu and PMS. Maybe a color code. Those are the things that they are supposed to develop in the implementation framework. You understand? Maybe a color code. Maybe a yellow for a yellow bar on the edge of their signpost says to them that we only sell what do you sell? We only sell CNG or we only sell whatever, or there's a charging station here or something. There will be various color code that somebody driving, oh, that's a red. I should let me branch there. And we also have worked with Google and all that to ensure that those various filling stations are also properly color coded in Lagos. You know, so we're able to. Now, when it comes to education, spreading the word, making things known, and I want to run away from the word advocacy. See, when we want to draw budget, we can call it advocacy. But we spend all this big money. But are they true results on the street? Do people actually have the experience that we desire on the product or of the product? Am I making any sense to anybody? And so, it will take me back to the credit registry of LASEPA. And I would rather say, LASEPA, let's create a $15 million fund to convert all the tricycles to, what did I say I want to convert them to? Convert them to CNG, electric, or something. Biofuel. And this is how we will pay. All right? If she's able to structure a project and we're able to get help people to work with us to make that happen, you know what? We will now be under pressure to find users. And that means that, I didn't know how to pronounce a correct junction now or something. A correct junction. I will know it by force. Because now we have funding for about 100,000 tricycles. So we need to make sure that the priority of our advocacy is more experiential. That people have an opportunity to experience what we are talking about. If you remember, when DSTV came, those who were bold enough, it was actually very free. MTN, because we had that very expensive beginning, the GSM, the SIM card and everything, started at very high price. But today, what prices are we paying to get your SIM card? So, if a man normally needs to fuel his tricycle at maybe 2,000 per day, Abi, and I'm saying pay 1,000. And when you pay 1,000, you are not doing any engine maintenance. That is one. Two, they are not doing any change of oil. That is two. Am I not correct? Then three, the film that you collect daily that makes you weak or something will be less. You may not understand that one. I agree with you. All right? But if he runs it a while and is happy with his experience, I'm sure he will be able to say, let's try more. You may even say, this is my old, whatever. This is my old fuel one. Can you give me one complete one that will be completely, I will pay you 2,000 naira per day. I don't know if I'm making sense to anybody. So, we must aim at advocacy that targets the experience of the people. See, all this advocacy that me and you would, may God forgive all of us. You say amen. If you have not done advocacy of paper and radio jingle, raise your hand. I've done it now. How many? I can't remember the last time I listened to radio. Ask me the last time I watched telly. Probably CNN. So, let's be honest. The newspaper they bring to the office, how many times do we have to sit down and read it? I struggle. So, let's be honest with ourselves. It is people touching the product and saying this is good or this is bad. And we also that are putting the product in place, ensuring that I'm not just going to China to cut margins, but we are going to China to bring quality products that will service the people. I'm not here to abuse anybody, and if you feel annoyed, forgive me. I'm talking to myself too. All right? I'm just saying, let's. It's easy to talk about this. So talk about some of these weaknesses of our leaders, and even myself. But those of us coming behind, don't join us. Think outside the box and don't let us take on models that does not work. I think I've addressed that next batch. Have I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
let's take three more, and I think we should close.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner, for the way you have actually managed this affair of today. Mine is just kind of a suggestion. So I know that this gathering is interministerial stakeholders engagement. I'm happy that you talked about some of the SDGs that this particular project is actually addressing. Talked about SDG 9, 11, I think 3 or thereabout, 6. My concern, Honorable Commissioner, is that one of the mantra of SDG is leave no one behind. I want to suggest that subsequent stakeholders forum should not leave anybody behind. Particularly, we have a portfolio of stakeholders, and I don't see the people that I'm supposed to see here today are not here. Maybe because this is the first stakeholders engagement. And carry them along as we are starting this new energy transition. Thank you very much, sir.
Now, can I just say to me, I said this is my speech. As I said, make sure that everybody have a copy of it so that in case you didn't hear me. One of the things I said is that this is the beginning. This gathering is to ensure that if you speak to anyone in Lagos State, that should know what we are doing about this electric vehicle. I saw one electric vehicle that broke down somewhere. I saw one other. And you are in a position of authority, somebody should say, oh, government is doing something about it. Okay, so this gathering is for the internal. We are completely interministerial. This is not the next meeting you are going to see. That ministerial will remove. It will be stakeholders engagement on Lagos State alternative that for vehicles. We may even remove vehicles and let it be mobility. For mobility. So that ensures that we are not just talking about vehicles or whatever. We're saying for anything that moves in Lagos and all that, you need to use this type of fuel to energize it. This is what you should bring back to us. Have I made any sense? So that is the kind of, that is where we are. That's the next step. All right, and that next step, we can't host it in this meeting. It can't be this environment, and we also need to upload some documents to them, so that in case they want to consult their lawyers, in case they want to do whatever, let everybody know that this is how Lagos is thinking, and this is where we are going. I don't know if I've made sense to you. So I think somebody also raised the question earlier, but I tried to just parry it because my initial attitude is that is it that this person didn't hear me? But let it be said that this is not the stakeholder meeting that will produce the document. So this is to announce to every agency that is here that you have work to do. This is happening, you have work to do, and we want to make sure that we have some implementations before the lifetime of this administration. Have I been clear enough? So all of us must speak in one accord. And then there was somebody else also asked a question. Let me tell you the truth. We are here because some OEMs, some unions, some companies, some car distributors have what is the English? Inundated us with requests for the state government to give them license, permit, what is our standard, what is this, what is that. I don't want to mention the person's name, but one of the people that owns one of the largest airlines in the country had flown to Lagos to come and have a meeting that he believed is very strategic to him in my office. And at the end of the engagement, I let him know that, and that is how we got to Ekoro Junction. Because it was actually, and I can't remember that, I can't remember Lagos. He wants to replace all the tricycles that we have with EV tricycles. All right? And I'm like, wonderful, thank you. But he says, we don't have any policy, we don't have anything. Government needs to sign this, government needs to sign that. I said, what is even the assurance that the thing you are bringing to us will last? It will be something that will only be there for the next few days that we are spending here. So we need to make sure that the continuity and the whatever sustainability of whatever we are doing is inbuilt. So that is the primary reason why we are here. All of them are expressing interest. The other person that came 2 weeks ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago, last Friday, says he's representing a number of these. He's actually a lawyer, and he has been in the mobility space for a while. So he's representing this. They already have this number of Okadas. They want to migrate into tricycles, and they need state government this and that. They are working with, he said, not less than 20, 30 companies. For me, thank you very much. Let's go through government motion. Let's make sure that we are aligned. Call you guys in. All of us will have very open conversations. The unions will be interested more in the transition plan. They don't want to wake up and find out that all their vehicles and investment is gone. Or because they are not e-compliant, they are going to send them off the road. But we must ensure that the choice of the customers are respected by the unions. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, where are the hands? That last one. Oh yeah.
All right, Honorable Commissioner, yes, just a brief one from the Fire and Rescue Service. My name is Tayo Oluwasoya. Thank you, sir, for extending this collaboration to us, sir. We are grateful. We just want to state that we would like to be actively involved, sir, in all the steps and areas that will include one thing or the other safety, as fire safety is concerned. We would like to be actively involved, particularly in areas of identification of fire risk, fire prevention systems to be installed, the appropriate ones, fire detection systems that need to be installed in such systems, fire safety trainings. So those are areas that we need to be actively involved, sir. So we are the custodians of fire safety in Lagos, and so we like to be actively involved. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next one. Muslim prayers.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, sir. What I have is more of a suggestion, and it is the fact that I believe that Lagos State, we should have something similar to what they even have in China, which is like a hub, like an industrial. I am from the EV. Basically, that's what we do, conversion to EV. And it will be important, just similar to what we have in Computer Village. We may be underestimating the importance of Computer Village, but to those people outside Nigeria, when you say Computer Village, they know the location, and they know how important it is. It is where knowledge mixes with government and all that. So it will be very also important if you have something similar, whereby there will be, it will be Lagos State led this time around. It will be important that you lead the way so that finance can follow, entrepreneurs can also meet in a hub. And another thing that I want to emphasize is the fact that those of us who are small players, when we go to China and all that, they see that there seems to be no organization. But if they know that we have a hub in Lagos State, they know that if they want to actually partake, they know that, oh, when I go to so and so place in Nigeria, in Lagos State, I will not be scammed. I know that I'll be meeting with the Lagos State government, with the policy people are there, finance is there, the people that matters are there. And even all the agencies that are here present, they can be there, they can have representatives in such a hub, so that people, there can be, rubbing of minds, and I think it will be very, very quick.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So it is more of a kind of contribution, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Last person.
Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioner. My name is Engineer Aderomo Agbomeji. I'm the Director of Transport Policy and Coordination, Ministry of Transportation. Actually, I want to appreciate the ministry for bringing forth this particular policy development. This is in line with our transport policy, component 14 of the transport policy, in terms of environment, climate, and then developing a clean vehicle system in Lagos. Having said that, what the last speaker said is particularly what I'm looking at. Because an experience when you go to mobile filling station, very close by here, where we have the CNG, you will see the number of queues. So I want the consultant, the ministry, to look at the possibility, because you made mention of the Lamata station where we can use for charging. The Lamata buses, we also look at the garages. How can we develop the charging infrastructure by the garages so that we can reduce congestion at the charging point of every location? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. I think the last batch of contributors have made very good contribution. We are assured of something. Fire service, we will not leave any agency behind. We will work with everybody. We will work with everybody. For us, better everybody is in the room, and we are making progress together as one state, one government, and for anyone for any part get lost and we now say, oh, if fire has been here, maybe they will have value all the trainings that all of us have had, and we believe Lagos State has invested a lot in everybody, and to be able to harmonize all those training to ensure that we create an environment that will lead to shared prosperity for our people. Thank you very much for registering that again. Now, the ministry already has energy hubs. We have spaces scattered all over this city where we can anchor development of any chain of activity. All right? Just need to say, yeah, I am, send me, and we are not going to think about it. We already have most of those areas already pre-approved, and we'll have gone to the point of layout and all that, but we want to see how these things play itself out. We want to see the first few projects that will come up, and then we can effectively say this is how. And we don't want to be calling the locations again, because some people just spy on the list of the locations that we have, and they go and start competing with it. They go and start competing with us for them. So those things inside our back pocket. When we see genuine projects and we see that you are serious, the government will support with appropriate location, and believe that live in the opt-in. If there is also a location that you think can be converted to maybe currently an unfocused market area or an unfocused commercial area, maybe we can even work with you, but we are more now interested in satellite towns, satellite manufacturing facility, so that some of the congestion in the core city also go down. So we are available, and we are sure that we can do. Okay, I think you are aligning with that. Transport, we are going to be on your case to make sure that we think completely. As government, it's an opportunity for us to solve a lot of problems. If I can raise money for now or through her, and I can tell the unions and have dual batteries, they will listen to us, Abi. And I'm saying batteries is at Inchini money. Abi, they will listen to us. So I'm also sure that if we can look at the transition, the heart of the future, we should be able to make substantial progress. All right, I think I covered all the issues. Right? Did we miss out on anything? Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner. A round of applause for him. And gentlemen, I give unto you Mrs. Olabisi Feintola Akinpelu, Director, Admin and Human Resource, Ministry of Energy.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Honorable Commissioner, the head of agencies here present, the CEO, Tree of Life Auto World Limited, the directors here present, representative of agencies here present, my colleagues, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say a big thank you on behalf of the principals, the Honorable Commissioner, the Special Advisor, and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. I want to say a big thank you to all for your presence and your concern. Your invaluable contribution is appreciated, and I want us to note that the ministry has taken charge of all your concerns and all the questions raised in the process of drafting of the policy. I want you to be assured that the ministry is not going to do it all alone. We have taken cognizance of the ministerial responsibilities of all the stakeholders here present. And I want to reassure you again that all the drafting of the policy will be taken care by all here present. And I want to add again that the operational framework of the policy, we take into cognizance all the issues raised here, and also we will make sure that all the framework will be people-centric and social inclusive. So nobody will be left out. The NURTW, which will be in the position to be here about next time that we are holding another stakeholders meeting, they will be invited. Safety Commission, you are recognized. NVAA, we appreciate you for your concern. Every other people here present, we appreciate you. Lamata, you are recognized. Thank you so much. I wish you all Last man, we appreciate your concern. Lasepa, we appreciate your concern. Waterways Authority, we appreciate your concern and participation. IOGC, you are recognized. Our partner in progress. Ministry of Justice, VIS, and all others. We cannot mention all. All others, you are all recognized. We appreciate you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you all.
Thank you. A round of applause for her. Please, if it not be mentioned, I'll make sure that I mention you. It's possible you not hear me because you'll be on your way then.